Alright, this is definitely one of the paddle stones that I've been collecting. It may be a yellow-green Thuringian, but I can't say that for certain, but there's absolutely no question in my mind that it is the same as the swirled stones I have, which is interesting because it's the first one that does not have any swirls. Now, if you look at it, the way it cuts reminds me a lot of some of the old, harder codicules, like the old rocks. If you see those scratches on the sides. Thuringians can have scratches like that, but it's not typical. They're usually a little softer than what this looks like. And also, they're not typically cut this thin, although they can be found this thin. The function of the stone is almost identical to Thuringians. It's virtually identical, and the slurry is virtually identical. The way I actually ruled out completely that they were not just slow codicules is the slurry is about a fifth the size of codicules, if that. So it's quite a bit smaller. It's very regular. Codicules tend to have a lot of variance in their slurry. I mean, it might be some are abrasive particles and some aren't, but Thuringians and finer JNats that I've looked at, and a good number of quality slates all have very fine particles and very regular particles, and these stones fit right in with that. There's a little bit of a pattern to it, kind of these little very faint lines you can see there, veins going through it, and some speckles right there. Some black dots, I believe those are part of the stone, yeah. But they're not very prevalent. But I think the big clue and what this is going to be these scratch marks. And like I said, they look very similar to some of the harder paddle codicules I've had seen in the past. Can't get to focus right now, but yeah. So it's like I said, the slurry definitely rules out codicule. And as for region, this one came from the United States, but it was obviously from a collection. It came with a bunch of other stones that were barber stones, so it's obviously from a collection of razor tools. So it could have come from anywhere. It was a number of synthetics and some codicules were with it. And the size is similar to a 6-inch Thuringian, but like I said, it's cut like this, and also it's not a perfect square. It's a paddle stone. You can pretty much tell that by how it's cut. And it's almost coffin-shaped, and 2 of the 4 of the swirl stones I've had in the past were cut like this. Very thin paddle stones, and they had a slight coffin taper to them. So, there you go. Maybe someday I'll figure out what the hell these are. But like I said, they're functionally equivalent to somewhat hard and very fine Thuringians. And they're real nice stones. And this is the first one I've seen that did not have the characteristic swirl marks on it. So it's pretty exciting.